All right, welcome back to Talk Tickers. Today we are diving deep into Niagen Bioscience, that's ticker NAGE. And boy, did they just drop a bombshell of a second quarter. We're talking a classic beat and raise here, the kind of report that makes Wall Street sit up and pay attention. The stock absolutely flew, and we're going to break down exactly what got everyone so excited.
So, how did the market react? Well, it was immediate, and it was explosive. Right after the call, the stock just ripped. We're talking up 21% in the pre-market. Now, that's not just a little green on the screen, folks. That is a massive vote of confidence. It's the market screaming that Niagen didn't just meet expectations, they completely blew them out of the water. And you know, the tone was set right from the get-go. The CEO, Rob Fried, he gets on the call, and the first thing he says is that they delivered yet another record performance. I mean, talk about confidence. He was basically laying out the story of unstoppable momentum. And as you're about to see, the numbers, they absolutely back him up. Okay, so let's get into the good stuff. Let's decode the numbers and see what exactly fueled that big stock move. When you boil it all down, the story of this quarter really comes down to two key things: growth that's picking up speed, and some seriously impressive operating leverage.
First up, the top line. The headline number here is a record-breaking $31.1 million in revenue for the quarter. Now, that's not just a record, it's a 37% jump from last year. And maybe even more importantly, it was a solid 9% higher than what the analysts on the street were expecting. You know, a clean beat on revenue, that is always what you want to see.
But you know, the story gets even juicier when you pop the hood and look at where that growth is coming from. Yeah, their main consumer brand, Tru Niagen, grew a very respectable 22%. That's great. But the real star of the show, their ingredient sales to other companies, that segment just exploded. We're talking 135% growth. This is so important because this is the high margin stuff. This is the part of the business that's pure fuel, and right now it is firing on all cylinders. And this is where you see that beautiful flywheel effect kick in. That high-margin growth just flows right down to the bottom line. Look at this. Gross margins shot up by almost 5 full percentage points. Net income, it went from basically zero last year to $3.6 million. And the big one, adjusted EBITDA, it more than tripled. I mean, come on. That, my friends, is what operating leverage looks like in the wild. It's when every single new dollar of sales you bring in is more profitable than the one before it.
So are they taking on a bunch of debt to fuel this growth? Nope. They're doing it all with cash from their own operations, sitting on top of a rock-solid balance sheet. They finished the quarter with over $60 million in cash and, get this, zero debt. That is a position of incredible strength. It gives them so much flexibility to make moves.
So yeah, that was the quarter. Pretty impressive, right? But what about the future? Let's switch gears and look at the roadmap. Because this is the key. Management didn't just pat themselves on the back for a great Q2. Oh no. They sent a very clear signal that this momentum isn't slowing down anytime soon.
And how do they signal that? They put their money where their mouth is. They actually raised their forecast for the entire year. They're now guiding for 22 to 27% revenue growth. Let me tell you, when a management team raises guidance in the middle of the year, it is one of the most powerful signals of confidence they can possibly send to investors. They're not just hoping for a good year, they're seeing it happen.
So where's that extra growth coming from? Well, one of the big levers they're pulling is the expansion of their injectable line, Niagen Plus. They've already gotten it into over 800 wellness clinics across the country, which is awesome. But now they're taking it even further, pushing into at-home kits and telehealth. It's a really smart multi-channel play. It's all about making it easier for more people to get their hands on the product.
Okay, now here's a potential plot twist. A huge catalyst hiding in plain sight. It has to do with a competing product called NMN. See, the FDA has already given a preliminary ruling that NMN is not a lawful dietary ingredient. The final word is expected by the end of September. Now think about this. If the FDA sticks to that decision, it could literally wipe a major competitor right off the map. That would be a massive tailwind for Niagen's product. All right, so we've established the main business is strong. It's growing, it's profitable. That's great, but there's a kicker. There's this whole other layer to the story, the part that could be a true game changer for the stock's valuation, and that is the massive potential locked away in their pharmaceutical pipeline. And the crown jewel of that pipeline is a phase 3 trial for Parkinson's disease. It's called NO-PARK. The dosing for the trial is done, and right now, the scientists are crunching the data. The next big milestone we're all watching for is when they submit it for peer review, with the full results likely coming in 2026. Let's be crystal clear here. If this trial hits, if they show positive data for a disease like Parkinson's, it would be an absolutely enormous, company-defining moment.
And it's not a one-trick pony either. It's not just about Parkinson's. They're building out a whole clinical platform for their molecule, and they're looking at things like long COVID, even fertility. It's about having multiple shots on goal and showing that this molecule has potential far beyond just being a supplement.
Okay, so let's wrap all of this up. We've seen the great quarter, we've seen the roadmap. The big question is, what does it all mean for the stock from here? It's time for the next call.
So, if you're watching this stock, there are a few key things to keep on your radar in the near term. First, that big FDA decision on NMN coming in September. Huge. Second, you want to watch the growth in that Niagen Plus clinic count. Is it still accelerating? And third, keep your eyes peeled for any news or publications from their clinical trials, especially anything related to NowPark.
So, when you add it all up, the incredible quarterly performance, the raised guidance, that beautiful operating leverage shining through, and a pipeline of catalysts on the horizon, for us, the rating on Niagen Bioscience is a clear and confident outperform.
And that leads us to the trade idea. So, how might you play this? Well, we think there's a really compelling case to be long NAGE heading into that September FDA ruling. Now, if you want to get a little more sophisticated, you could think about pairing that long position with a short against a basket of public companies that sell NMN. It's basically a way to play that potential regulatory catalyst from both sides.
And of course, we gotta say it. This is not financial advice. Everything we've talked about here, including the trade idea, is purely for informational and entertainment purposes. You always have to do your own research.